means that white person, they had a home, they had a house, right? And probably some money in the bank. But we're just renters and barely paupers and beggars. So we have to change the way we do things. And this program can help you to do it. It's very easy and simple. So I've come back. We get some professional brothers and sisters. Let's quit gang banging with each other about knowledge and stuff. You need to learn some stuff. God ain't gonna just drop down knowledge out of the sky. He give you common sense to ask somebody and prepare yourself, because all blessings gonna go flow through him. So let's give you this little thinkum here. Warm up question. Great Britain is a collection of islands and was in the not too distant past an African black Israelite stronghold called Europa, black more control, until it was gentrified through excessive immigration, the things they're complaining about right now, right? We allowed excessive immigration. Immigration really not completely true, because the whites were the ones they were predominantly serfs and peasants. They were slaves at that time. At that time, they revolted with the help of the Pope and his Christian armies. Think about it. What role did the Pope army play in freeing Europe during the Crusades? What year did the Moors control Europe? Excuse me. They got there in 1500 BC. A lot of them say, well, 700. No, they got there in 1500 BC through 1492 AD. Right? That was almost 3,000 years. Did the Moors all leave in 1492 when they went into this treaty with the Pope and they decided to leave out of Europe? But who was King James VI and the first in 1633? He was a Hebrew Moor that was king of Europe at that time. 4 different promises. He created Great Britain, that whole complex there. What was World War I and World War II in Europe and Northern Africa really about? They didn't give us the right information. We can put those pieces together. If you're a student of history, you can connect the dots. So what really happened, what they told us, is not what really happened. Because they bombed the heck out of that place. And evidently they wanted to obliterate something or somebody. And black royalty and wealth was still there. So they wanted to make that transition, right? That's what it was really about. And if you look at the world map again, and you go to the coast of Northern Africa, Europe is actually a collection of islands off the north coast of Africa. Europe, which is not a continent, is actually the backyard of Africa, island provinces, and not a separate continent. They tried to tuck them close to the Asian, when they created the map, they tried to tuck it close to the Asian continent on their maps, right? And where did the term Black Russian come from? Let's keep it real, right? Keep it real one-on-one. So that's just something to think about. We so confined in our thought process, and we accept everything that's been told to us. But we're going into the age of enlightenment. We're going to go past the age of deception, right? Where we were caught in this web of deception for the last 2,000 years. Of deceit and deception. Now we go into the age of enlightenment, where we have knowledge and more information. And we have to understand that what we have been told and what we've been taught is not true. 99% of it is not true. So we have to reboot our brains and start thinking again. And that newsletter goes over it, does a pretty nice overview of that. All right, so let's get into the subject matter. Lee, is there anything that you want to comment on as we get started? No, not right now. All right, so let's, reparations. I understand the need for reparations. And this series that I've been going through, the State of Black America, is, we talked about the problem of what has occurred. You have to know the type of warfare that they use against you, so we don't repeat it. So we don't fall victim to that over and over again. So that's why education is so important. And our brothers and sisters are so brilliant. Go to YouTube, get an education, look up the proper videos. We listen to too many music videos and want to dance and, oh, that's my song type thing. and this capitalist system is running us over. You know, you got 98% of the wealth in the hands of 2% of the population. So we know where the money is. We know where the money is, right? But we need to break it down and be more specific about that. But first of all, let's not put the cart before the horse. We don't want to be in a situation, right, where we get reparations and 30 days later they got all the money back. So we're not prepared to receive reparations. And I know everybody said, no, they're looking at their own present condition. But like I said, let's not put the cart before the horse. Let's prepare ourselves. Let's prepare our minds. Let's create institutions and economic infrastructure. So when we demand, so we have to make them give us reparations. See, you can't negotiate from a position of weakness. And we're not prepared to negotiate in a position of strength. And if they do give us the resources, we're just going to just give it right back, because that's just our nature right now. That's just our nature. That's just the way it is. You might not like it. That's the way it is. So what we need to do, we want to create a movement going. So log into the website, get involved. Then eventually through the process, we want everybody to be on the same page. So the curriculum is designed to gradually, first of all, we want to deal with your spiritual essence. We're going to deal with Maya, right? The 42 admonitions of Maya. Now, what that does is lets you know how you need to conduct your life. And those 42 admonitions are social constructs that allow individuals to get along with each other. And let you know how you need to conduct yourself if you want to go to the next stage of your existence. Right? So it teaches you these things. So now it's up to you. Go to church is kind of vague and huffy and puffy and trying to, but they're not directing you to. You get lost in the wilderness. The 42 admonitions of Maya puts you on a direct path, a course. And the illustrations that I have when you enroll, the first 7 days of orientation, to give you like an orientation, give you a chance to open up your mind, to think a little differently. See, and you can tell when an individual who's not used to scholarly study or study and open up their mind, when they get some new information, that's all they're like headstrong with that information because they don't have background knowledge to bounce it off of. That's just a little bit of knowledge in the vast amount of knowledge that you will receive. And you'll know when you become wise when you acknowledge that you know nothing. But if you think you know everything, you're still foolish because there's too much knowledge and wisdom. And the point is that you want to get the knowledge and process it so that way your subconscious mind can network it and create that, to give it the information it needs to do what it has to do. And that brings up a point now. See, we have in this society now, everybody's going towards computers and this and that. God gave us the best computer there is, our mind, and we're not using it. I remember when I was in school growing up, they wouldn't let us use calculators. Well, there wasn't really calculators yet, unless you want to carry around these big things, calculators. But we used our mind. We knew our multiplication tables and stuff like that. We knew phone numbers. But now with these phones, they're zapping the mind. The society was already being dummied down because they never wanted to teach our children to the level that we can compete against theirs. So we were dummied down. Now these computers dummy us down even further. We have to learn to develop the mind. That's why you have to give your child a book, an actual book, so they can sit down and read it. You get these computers. What happens when somebody zap your computer, take all your information, or the electromagnetic impulse comes and kill all the electricity? And you don't have those computer gadgets anymore. But you forgot how to think and reason. And we are already behind the curve, and with these computers and stuff, it's making it even worse. So what I'm telling you might be foreign to you. That's why you get the information, you read it, and you don't take an extra step because something's missing in between. We want to start off with 1,000 people. Go ahead and sign up with that. Sign up. Then gradually we're going to feed it to you and develop. We're going to be on the same page. And I'm going to show you a way how you get out of debt. Just after you get it together, you want to be a blessing to other people and share it with them. And that's where the windfall comes in. It's a matter of, it's math. So as far as reparations go, you're going to get the knowledge. We're talking about high finance. We're not talking about financial planning that these people can come in and give you these bogus loans and get you to sell your products and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to teach you when they come, you understand whether that product is good for your financial plans and fits into your portfolio. So as you progress through life, through the creation, accumulation, and preservation of wealth, you know what stage you're in. You know what work you need to do. So the first 7 days is an orientation. Then we go through the 30-day life plan. The 30-day life plan is creating a plan, setting goals, having a vision. Where do you want to go? Then we look at budgeting and financial management and cash flow management, structuring your goals and your dreams so you can implement them. And you have a workbook where you can take notes. And you can measure your performance and have a time frame and a dollar amount associated with that. Right? Then we go into the next 12-week session is critical thinking analysis. We talk about financial management. You know, it's a gradual, it starts very easy and it gets a little complicated and stuff built up, but it's only complicated because it's foreign information to you. So we're going to talk about building wealth, businesses, and the different type of business structures and investment portfolios and how do you manage that business with the home budget and so forth that you learned in the first sections of the course. And then we go into the preservation of wealth. We look at estate planning and asset protection type strategies and tax planning and those type things. And you need to train your children. Then you have supplemental lessons that come out about how to choose the best trustee. You know, so your beneficiaries are on the same page, so they're financially astute. So when they receive wealth, they're not just they respect money. Now our young people don't know about money. They don't respect money. So what the parents have worked their life for, if they didn't have a reverse mortgage because the kids aren't at that level where they can participate, say, hey, mom, dad, don't worry about it. I got this. Let me preserve my inheritance. Preserve what you worked so hard for over these years so I can pass this wealth on to my children, right? And be a blessing. But the first thing we do is sell the property or want to sell it, cut yourself out so you can get the money. They don't make new land. That is so foolish thinking. We're still backwards. That's why there's a wealth gap, because we're not thinking properly, right? And the beautiful thing about this is that this is one-on-one. You get mad at me, but it's a recording. Come back to it. We have to do this. You talking about reparations. First of all, we have to be good stewards over the blessings that we do have and then work together, right? Because we have all this wealth circulating around us, so let's learn how to capture that wealth. And it's an enormous amount of wealth. We spent $1.3 trillion outside of our communities. Why do you think everybody else is doing better than us? First of all, through reparations, the history of slavery, they walked on us. Everything they have is because of us. They don't have enough money to pay us, right? And then on top of that, we're giving away all the wealth. Boardwalk School of Economics, we go through that process, right? So whether you're a doctor, lawyer, physician, you think you got all the money, listen, just because you got money, that don't mean nothing. Because your kids ain't getting it, and you end up losing it. So let's, how many people have you talked to when they tell you what they used to have? Then we have these economic cycles that go up and down, and we don't even plan for those. These cyclical cycles. So let's learn to think differently. And I'm not, and the price is so reasonable because the money is not going to be made at this level. The money is going to be made once we start our eyes open and the genius kick in and we have the resources to do things we want to do. and we start building businesses and institutions and start training our new gen, that's when the money comes in. So I'm a businessman. But right now, I don't have anybody